Welcome back to this week's episode of His View, Her View. My name is Mia. I'm one of the hosts.
And I'm Cedric.
And we're going to be discussing a movie review, possible hot topics, politics, anything like that. So first thing that we can discuss is
We'll talk about the movie.
Yeah. The movie that we watched, which was The Devil You Know. And it was an Amazon Prime movie. And it's starring Omar Epps. So that's what originally drew me to it. I noticed Omar Epps, and I'm a big fan of all his work. What are some of his other movies that he's in?
I mean, everybody should classically know him from Juice. You know what I mean? In Too Deep, great movie. And he played in Love and Basketball. You know what I'm saying? Some classics, some iconic classics. Omar Epps is definitely a gem in the field of acting, especially for our culture and community.
And it has some other stars in it too. I'm trying to look it up now.
Stars. The guy who played, I don't know his name, but the guy who played Doodle on The Shine was on there.
And he played a different character.
Different role, different character. He was very. You got to see this movie. To me, I'm gonna put this movie up there like with one of the better family movies that you can enjoy to give you a good understanding on like a structure of a family. You know, they also had classic actors like my man from Cooley High who played Preach was the father.
Oh yeah,
So that was amazing. And I don't know this lady's name.
Okay, let me say their names. I just brought it up. What is Glenn Turman.
Glenn Turman, yeah.
Yeah, and who was the other guy that we first said? Oh, Curtis Cook.
Curtis Cook.
From The Shine. He really surprised me with his role. What would you rate? Let's rate the movie first. What would we rate the movie? Or should we rate it after we discuss it?
I mean, we can rate it now.
Okay.
I think I'm rating the movie, like I said, for what it was. It wasn't one of them hot cinematic movies that had to draw you in with all of these extras. So I'm going to give the movie a 9 out of 10 for storytelling, casting, and then ultimately I felt like a lot of different kind of emotions without it being like
too extreme.
And also like the storyline was fillable but not fully predictable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like, to be able to follow the story, and it was pacing the way it was going. You know what I mean? It was inspirational. You know what I mean? But like I said, the main thing that stuck out for me was just, like I said, another good movie I felt like where families come together and show what the strength of family look like. Like if you watch this movie, you'll see like how a family should operate. You know what I mean? Like you noticed in the film, like they always said yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am to their mother and their father, no matter which one of the siblings it was. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like...
Okay, with you saying that, it's a little bit off. We don't have our boys do that. What do you feel? How do you feel about that?
For me, it's like I'm not that type of person who want my kids to grow up thinking that they have to be in submission. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like...
But you liked it in the movie. I liked it because it gave a
nostalgic feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, just like seeing with household respect. Now, after seeing it, of course, this is a movie, you know what I mean? So seeing it, it felt nice, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like where it aligns with my views, like I'm not going to be a person, I want my kids to obviously respect their elders, you know what I mean? Respect people who respect them. But it's not going to just be a blanket, you get called sir or whatever, or man or whatever, and everybody think that for some reason you feel beneath them. Like I was a person who was raised to say yes sir and no ma'am to people. And like I said, I've talked to people and they'll be like, well, you don't have to call me sir. And I'm like, I'm not calling you sir because you're above me. I'm calling you sir because I want the same respect. You know what I mean? This is like,
and some people don't always do that. That's why nowadays it's like you have to be careful, like you said. Right. You know what I mean? Because they start looking at it as like...
You're beneath me.
Submission, yeah.
But I would never be the person, like, I'm not that guy who call everybody king and queen. Like, I'm not about to be calling you king. I'm not about to be calling you queen. You're not that for me. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know you that
well. Don't have to go through all of that. But.
Okay, so back to the movie. I just wanted to point that out because that is good. It did give a nostalgic family vibe. I will say that. I love that about it. Also, I'm just going to throw a few things that I liked about it and what I rated. I also rated a 9 out of 10. Mainly because I did feel the nostalgia of it. It gave me very much soul food, but with a different
soul food, Color Purple. Like I said, these is like family movies. You know what I mean? Like it might not have been the same, but it gives you a ideal of like family, black family. You can see this dynamic
without it being too traumatic. That's the main thing we said when we were watching it. When we got past the first half of it, we were like, wow, we didn't even have to go through a traumatic something to enter this movie. It was like it just drew you in a sense of like welcome home. And then it unfolded like, okay, now get to know the characters,
right?
And what the actual, I guess,
Problems at hand were the underlying issues. You know what I
yes,
mean? Like the things that you can't see, the things that's making the story. You know what I mean?
yes,
Like why? Like at first
the
you're watching
plot.
it, you're like, yeah, the plot. Like, okay, this is just a family. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what are we watching? You know what I'm saying? But then it was like, in certain scenes, you're seeing certain things take place that you didn't necessarily expect. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not going to give out the movie. I think
Yeah.
it's something I should very well see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like you know, in about 2 weeks or so, if anybody have any comments or something like that after viewing the movie, and they want to discuss it further, I'll talk about some of these points that stood out. You know what I mean?
Leave it in the comments. We would love
Right.
to.
You know what I mean? But the movie just came out, so I'm not going to spoil it for nobody. But it's definitely one of those ones, like I said, where you'll notice subtleties that'll make the storyline progress versus it, like my wife said, like something that's just dramatic and tragic and whatever. Like I said, it's a great film. 9 out of 10. Like I said, the budget probably wasn't that great, you know what I mean, or very much high. Like I said, you still got a quality film, you know.
Oh, also, this came out in 2022, April 2022. But I could have sworn it said 2024 in there too on Amazon Prime.
No, they finished it. Like I said, whenever you finish something, that's when it's done. You know what I mean? Like they had it done. They probably had to do another
shop
2 years
around
of
or
editing
something,
or editing it. You know what I
Oh.
mean? Like you could film something, put it together, and then it still takes some more time for production.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
And
mean?
one of the main characters is from the DMV area, and I heard it from his accent.
William Catlett. Yeah.
Yes, William Catlett. He said something, and I was like, "That's the DMV."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I looked him up, and I was like, "Oh, he is from the DMV area." So William Catlett, I'll try to put up a picture of him. I'm not making any promises. But he's been in a few things. He was in the original Own short, I think, series, which was Love Something or In Love, something like that. And a few other things. But his character was very
dynamic. He probably had like the most dynamic character, I would say, just
it was
because
so
he was
many.
so like he, you know, like I said, it's a movie that you all got to see. Once again, it just came out, so it's almost like I don't want to give
it away,
yeah,
but you kind of have to like say like at the end of the day he was unexpected. A lot of the stuff from him to me was unexpected, and which is good because it's like you said, you can't predict it.
Right.
And
you know what I mean? But like I said, it shows cues though as well, because it's like I said, like, you know, like I said, I don't want
it's
to
like
say,
little droppings.
That, yeah, like, you know, different things that progress. Like I said, it's just like seeming like just like a family story that you like really like a fly on the wall watching a family operate, and then all of a sudden you see the little things that add up to big things.
Yes,
so like I said, it's
which is just like any family dynamic. Little things that add up to the big thing that makes a person, that makes a family. And what else would I say about it? I would like to also say that I love seeing the brother aspect of it all, like black men, and none of them were gangbangers. I mean, you know, of course things came out where it was like they had a protagonist, you know, they had plots that, you know,
it seemed real regular. Like it had a real dynamic to it. Like no person, you know what I mean?
It's perfect.
Exactly.
And but this is not the stereotypical black males. Right. And that's what I loved seeing. It's like these men look like the men that I know. You know what I'm saying?
Even with Michael Ealy being the detective in the case, it was like
that's another character we didn't touch on. Go ahead.
Right, but he like the way his approach was. It wasn't in a sense of I'm the big bad cop. I'm gonna bring you down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like him and Omar Epps end up having this exchange, or it was just really, really deep. You know what I mean? It was just like, man, profound, the things that he was just saying. You know what I mean? And at the time, you know what I mean? Like I said, this is a movie that I don't want to give too much away, but it has so many great talking points and great things that a person in life could draw from these lessons, just humanity in general. And one of the things, like I said, when him and Omar Epps was having their dialogue conversation, the one thing that stood out, he was saying, like, you know what? All of these cases ended up turning out with either another black man behind bars or another black man locked up or dead. You know what I mean? It's like for him to keep on seeing it starting to become too much.
And that's why he wanted to stop.
Yeah, after he was saying this was going to be his last. You know what I mean? So it's just like...
Even you see how that could be drawn from... Maybe he talked to a cop, African-American cop, that felt that, you know, and voicing it, you can allow others to see themselves in your character, and also to see the humanity in police. Because
That's
of
what I'm
course,
saying.
yeah, of course you do be like, oh, you're a cop, you're black, and you a cop. Da, da. But it's like, you know, there's two dualities to everything. Where it's like, I'm also battling with seeing these things
happen in my community. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like, you know, it's like at some point, you know what I mean, if you're trying to take a stance on trying to make a change, you know what I mean, like, it's people who are genuine and people who really want to make a difference, and then people who only want to make themselves feel accountable. You know what I mean? Because like, I have family members who are police officers, and they express the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these people who are not necessarily good police officers is because they have insecurities within themselves. Like, they might have been bullied. You know what I mean? And that gives them a certain type of drive toward wanting to do law enforcement a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? Whereas I felt like this guy didn't seem like he was an insecure guy. It seemed like he was definitely a guy who wanted to make a change in his community. You know
It was
I mean?
genuine about it. And so I love seeing that too. That was an amazing thing to see, like, because like you said, we already know this, but then to see it portrayed in a character was really cool. And even seeing the ladies, this wasn't a lot of ladies, and you know, scenes.
But the thing about it was the women who were in the movie showed a respectability, like the mother. You know what I mean? Like, she was the queen from the Alfred queen on Coming to America.
Oh yeah. What's her name?
She was the mother on Biker Boys. You know what I'm saying? So,
and she still look good. She still look good. No. Okay, so Omar Epps' wife was in it too. I love it. I love it. Putting your wife on. Oh yes, it is Vanessa Bell Calloway. Oh wow, she looks different in every picture, but you know that's black people. You know we can morph. Okay, we can morph. She was amazing. Loved her hair in that. Her hair was short. Loved it. And also, go upstairs with your brother.
No, I want to sleep.
Okay, then you have to be quiet and don't touch anything. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay. So, and what else did I want to say about this movie? We stopped on Vanessa. Oh, the ladies. That's what I was going to say. The ladies in the movie didn't have a large role, but I love the role that they did.
Impactful roles.
Yeah, they had impactful roles. I loved how they brought their characters to life. And being strong while also being vulnerable. So yeah, the ladies brought a lot of vulnerability and impact to their roles, while also giving space for the broad story to be told, which I really enjoyed. But once again, I agree with my husband. This is definitely a family movie. Probably not for little kids.
Probably not for kids. I think like at mature age children. You know what I mean? Like children who probably who you want to give a lesson to. Like some people say, I was raised in a household where I didn't have ratings, didn't necessarily stop me from watching movies. So for me, if it was a time where I wanted to get my kids to understand the bond between family, between probably like 12 and up.
I was gonna say 12
too. You know what I mean? Like I think
12.
that's a good frame to be able to start bringing your children into really understanding the true bond and meaning behind these bonds, other than just the names. You know what I mean? So,
and it's not too much going on, you know.
It's not like it wasn't like no sex scenes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like drug use.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't
or murder that was like just so, you know, dramatic. It was
even whatever was going on in the story, it was more implicated to a degree.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or
implied. Yeah. And I liked at the end how they had the Bible verse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, it was.
You don't want to. I mean, I feel like that'll kind of give away the.
Yeah, it would give it away, but I liked how they had that at the end because it ties together once again how.
Black families probably.
And storytelling.
Yeah.
From the beginning of time.
Right. So I'll say this about the film. Some things I looked at that I found was interesting is the fact that how it was put together. You know what I mean? Like from watching the movie, it felt real. So for myself, I started doing research. Like, okay, was this a true story? Because they had a family pictured at the end. So it was like, okay, which characters was which? You know what I mean? So I looked it up, and the thing I found very interesting is like the guy did use the fact that he had a family dynamic with brothers and stuff like that, but tied the story where it kind of goes within another news article that something really happened, like an incident happened. and he like tied it all together. I thought that was amazing. Another thing I thought was amazing as far as just like for people who are creators and inspired to create is the fact that this guy brought this story to Omar Epps almost 8 to 10 years ago before they actually got, things finished from that meeting. So I thought it was pretty cool, like how when he wrote this story, he didn't necessarily have a script in place already. He had the story in line and the character, which was Omar Epps, who he wanted to play it. And from there, Omar Epps was like, well, where's the script? Like, we got to put this together and to see that, somebody was actually able to make something happen with the person they wanted to make it happen with. And they was able to execute it. I just felt like that was just like, man, like, showed a lot.
Yeah, I like that too. I liked how you did start questioning, like, is this real? Did this really happen at the end? And then when my husband looked more into it and seeing like it was loosely based on a news article. Yeah, which is also how Beloved is loosely based on a article, and then you build a story from that. So that was really amazing. So once again, The Devil You Know.
And just like I said, one more thing to touch on. Like I said, the cast diversity is, as I said, once again amazing. Let's just look at the
star-studded.
Like in the range of it, like you got people from, like I said, Mr. Thurman to
newbies.
Yeah, Omar Epps. He had his wife in it, Keisha Epps. William Catlett from the DMV. Erica Tazel. She played the love interest of Omar Epps.
Which I think she's like a newbie too.
Yeah, I've never seen him before. Curtis Cook. I mean, these people probably did a lot of things leading up to get them in a position they're in now, so I want to take away from that. But seeing some fresh faces along with familiar people like Michael Ealy, Vanessa Bell Calloway, Lynn Turman, and even Michael Beach.
Who was he?
Michael Beach was on Soul Food.
Yeah, but who was he in there? I don't remember seeing him.
He was one of the people in the beginning. He didn't have a large role, but he was like having like a speaking part. If you rewatch the movie,
I'm gonna rewatch it.
You know what I mean? And then when they come down to some of the other guys that was in the movie, like this Theo Rossi guy, like I never heard of him or seen him in nothing, but I felt like he played the hell out of his character too.
Oh my God, yeah, I didn't like. You know how when somebody plays their character so good, you don't like them, like Ike Turner. Like and then you have to rewind and be like, hold on, this is not the real person. Yeah, he played his character good. But once again, The Devil You Know, which is on Amazon Prime. 9 out of 10 stars. Should we do now? How did Robert Ebert used to do it? Or what is his name? Ebert and something? 2 thumbs up? Either way, it's 9 out of 10 stars. It's definitely a must-see. Family-oriented, 12 and up, we would suggest. And star-studded cast. Love it. Omar Epps did a great job. Everybody did an amazing job. So we appreciate you all tuning in to our movie review of The Devil You Know. And we'll see you in our next movie review.
Peace.
Peace.